This is a demonstration video for a scaffolding company using Flobot. We're going to cover off a few points here, 9 points in total, very quickly. So new customers and adding to the CRM, making an appointment to quote for an estimator, quoting, which is going to be super short because there's another video on that, adding charges to send to the customer, scheduling a scaffold project itself, then sending a job sheet in to say that the scaffold project went successfully, possibly making another appointment to go and dismantle that scaffold, then sending an invoice, and finally recording a payment, which if it's the exact amount that we asked for on the invoice will automatically close the job. So in front of you, you can see here the scaffold. You can see that I'm logged in on the app because it's showing you where I am on a map. This is set up for Qatar, but I'm actually in London. If you've got several scaffolders, engineers and estimators, they will all appear on the map, and obviously you can scroll out and do some other stuff. But let's start off by adding a new customer, which I'm halfway through here. In this case, David Beckham. So we put all the details in so we don't have to do it twice. It's got a lookup in every country, a postcode finder in the UK. We tell it what sort of business it is, what sort of scaffold they want, and where they found us. Needs a very large scaffold and quote in Qatar. Now we're going to convert that to an order. Doesn't mean they're a customer, it means we can start to do things with them. And the first thing we're going to do is make an appointment for one of our estimators to go and quote for this job. So we click the add appointment tab. We'll select an engineer. In this case, we'll select Khalifa, and we'll say that he's going to go on a Sunday between 10 and 12 to quote. We can tell our customer that he's going to be arriving, and it will have a picture of Khalifa and his vehicle and registration and any other details that we want to put on there, and then basically we just submit that job. Now that's going to send it to the app, and the app will allow him to navigate there, talk to his customer with all the details and so on and so forth. And if he wants to, he can actually make a quote in the app, but that's for another video. So what we're going to do is imagine that Khalifa's come back and he wants to make a quote because it's so big in the system itself. So we go down to quotes and sheets and we click the add quote icon, and we've got two options here. We can have a completely new quote, or we can add one from a template that we've already made called large scaffold, and we might have 10 of these templates. This one's just a demonstration one, so it's pretty ugly. It doesn't have any logos in, doesn't have any description of works, but it should have terms and conditions and so on and so forth in it. Here it's got scaffolders, clips, concrete, anything else we want, and we just add line items. As you can see, you've got lots of choices for what you want to do here. You know, waste disposal, 3 skips. This can come from an internal price list, which we can upload. I think you get the idea. Once we're happy with the amount that we're going to charge, which is down here, we add some further details to the job. And the reason for that is this particular document is serving 3 purposes. The first one, of course, is to educate your customer on how much you want to charge them for this, if they want to accept it. The second one is to keep a record, a legal document, if you will, of the agreement between both parties, what you're actually going to do for them on this quote. And the third one is to educate and inform the scaffolders about what they actually have to do when they get there. And what that's going to do is strip out all of this financial information because they don't need it, and just leave them with the description of works and any of the materials in here. And that's going to end up in their app, so they don't have to have any paper sheets or anything like that to know exactly what they need to do with this job. Now, once we're happy with this quote, we're going to send it directly to the customer. I'll send it to me. I don't think David Beckham will actually want it. Another template goes in here. Please read carefully. We send that off, and any minute now that is going to appear in my inbox, hopefully. There it is. We have a PDF version. If you want to, you can go back into the system, and as you can see, here's all the details. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how much it's going to cost, and here is where you can say I want to go ahead electronically. Obviously most people still ring, but please go ahead. Accept. Now that's going to send another acceptance email to the job owner, which in this case isn't actually me, but it's also going to change the status of it in the system. We'll cover all of those status changes in another video. But once that quote has been accepted, it changes to quote 6. So there's a couple of things that we want to do now. First thing is we want to add some charges. We may want to. So we know that it's going to cost 12,000. We want to do it as quickly as possible and create an invoice. So let's go to create customer charges. And this is going to build an invoice that we can send out now if we want to, or wait until the end of the job. In this case, we'll just send it out now. And it'll have all your BACS details and so on and so forth. Similarly, it can link to all sorts of accounting software, Xero, Sage, QuickBooks, Cashflow. So you can send it off there and then send it out through your accountancy software. The next thing we're going to do with this particular quote is we're now going to turn it into a project sheet so that our engineers know what to do when they get to the job. So we can send it off to them on an email, but we can just publish it. And this will mean that it goes into the app of anyone who's been scheduled to do this, but no one else. We can see that here's our engineer's notes. It looks like that. We can communicate with them. Please see foreman on site before starting. Save. So now that we've sent off our quote, it's been accepted. The next thing that we do is we're going to schedule our scaffold team to actually go and build this scaffold. So again, exactly the same process we did with an estimate. We click the make an appointment screen. We'll put it in for Khalifa again. This time we're going to pick a day, next Monday. This time we're going to project, job or project. And again, we can send those information off to the customer. And once we submit that, that is now going to end up in the app along with the project sheet for Khalifa and his team to build this scaffold. So the next part of this will actually be on the video. There's another video coming which is going to look at just how to submit a job sheet. I'm going to pause it here and then upload that job sheet. So we've now submitted the job sheet. We'll find it in the document store. It's changed the status of that particular job. And as we can see, it's got the information that we need about this job. So all the details, what time it was signed or submitted, how long it took, where it was taken. Here's some pictures, hopefully of scaffold, and there's the signature and who signed it off. So that's now a record that, that this job was done to satisfaction. So the next thing we might do is, in scaffolding at any rate, is not do a lot until we have to schedule to come and bring that down. And actually on that job sheet it said please take it down in 4 weeks, so I'm not going to put that much down on it. We might have a team as well, different team that go and take these down. I'm going to put it in for Arda here. I'll put it in for Thursday the 7th, and this time I'm going to put dismantle, and this will end up being a different colour in the app and in the individual schedule. So I submit that. So now we can see that we've set up wanted for an estimate. We went up and built the scaffold, and now we've put in a date to actually take that scaffold down. And we can see that this is our schedule here for all of the engineers. So which moves us on to the final part of this, which is going back to your invoice. Sending it off, and then as long as it matches we'll close the job. So as you can see, we'll go to charges, They owe us 12,100. We will record 12,100 that has come in, and this will successfully close the job off, and we can go on to the next one. So that is the end of this video.